It's a great day to talk hockey on HabsCast.
Welcome back to HabsCast. We are live. It is Saturday afternoon. Just got in the door when I saw the news that Mr. Patrick Laine is out for 3 to 4 months. Here was the let's have a look here. Medical update. Forward Patrick Laine underwent surgery to repair a core muscle injury. The procedure was performed at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York. Laine's recovery period is estimated to be 3 to 4 months. Very unfortunate news for Patrick Laine. Doesn't help the Habs power play, that's for sure. He would have got going. You know, he's a streaky scorer. I feel sorry for him. You know, all he's been through, and he just it's weird. It seems like the same guys just can't keep away from the injuries. It was, Goalie keeps getting injuries, Doc keeps getting injuries, and now Laine again. So it's very unfortunate for him. I know he loves Montreal, and there's nothing, he spent this past summer training here. He actually worked hard in the off season, and my expectations were that he was going to have a good season because he is one of the most talented players in the league. I mean, when he came into the NHL, he was a superstar. He really was. If you look back at point totals for kids that played at 18 years of age in the NHL over the past 20 years, Matthews and Laine right at the very top. Like he was a star right off the bat, and unfortunately, just never evolved from that first year or two. Injuries set in, personal problems, addiction to Fortnite, and now, the last few years, it's been predominantly injuries that have plagued him. It's too bad for him. Will it, from a personal standpoint, just in wishing him the best and hope that he gets back and hope that he can continue his career, even if it may not be in Montreal ever again. The time frame here, if it's 4 months, the time frame is that he's back, just before the trade deadline. So what happens with the Canadiens? Do they, I don't know if this hurts or helps his draft or his trade stock. I mean, there's always going to be teams at the trade deadline that wouldn't mind adding somebody that you saw the infusion that he gave to Montreal's power play last year when he first came up. Like, Montreal doesn't make the playoffs last year if Laine doesn't come into the lineup. You can check out their record before Laine and after Laine, and it just a significant difference. We've in recent weeks, me and others have mentioned how much better the Canadiens lineup was after the Carrier trade, but really, where things turned around for them last year was when Laine returned from his injury and was just deadly on the power play. I think he had something like 10 goals in his first 10 games, and they were all on the power play but one. It was phenomenal. And, it'll be interesting to see if the Canadiens come trade deadline. Hopefully he's back for a little bit and we get to see, if he's back 100%, if he can help power play. Do they hold on to him? Do they get rid of him at that point? This is a type of injury where they project 3 to 4 months, but it might be longer than that. He may not even return till after the trade deadline, and if that's the case, nobody's going to trade for him. So it'll be one of the underlying stories of the season. What do the Canadiens do with Patrick Laine if and when he recovers from his injury? I don't know. We've had a few people stop in, and no comments here as of yet, but just curious if there's anyone out there that has a little more. I am admittedly not a capologist. I don't really pay that much attention to it. We do have what's the injury? It's an injury it's a core muscle injury. I figure it's something an ab related injury, Robert. We just had somebody come on here and say, what's the injury? Sorry, just arrived. So probably a torn ab muscle, something along those lines. But let's have a quick look here at the cap. Now, this is presumably actually before, before the Laine injury update. I presume LTIR, and there's 8.7 million there, which presumably gives him more than $12 million in projected cap space. If anybody can clarify everything as far as, and it says deadline cap space 18 million, projected playoff cap space 19 million. So there's room there. There's certainly wiggle room, and with the Laine injury, maybe even more so for the Canadiens to add another piece or two if need be. It's going to be a busy trade deadline for the Canadiens this year. I think. I have a feeling they'll be in the playoffs, and it'll be quite interesting to see what Kent Hughes gets brewing when it comes to how to deal with what to add, what not to add, who to maybe trade, what young players are developing, which ones are expendable. Is Kapanen gonna be is Kapanen going to be the answer at second line center? So far, he looks like he can be. If so, do they trade for another center? I think it depends. If it's Sidney Crosby, yes. Although looking at the Penguins' record there, the Pens aren't going to be trading Sid if they keep on winning. That's for sure. Sidney's interested in winning first and foremost, and right now he's got the Pens playing really good hockey. So he's certainly not going to be traded anytime soon. If they fall out of the playoff race, maybe the Canadiens look at him, maybe someone else. Same with the Islanders. If they fall out of the race, there might be some pieces there that the Canadiens would be interested in. Bo Horvat obviously would be. I mean, I've suggested it in the past. Bo Horvat would be a perfect addition to the Montreal Canadiens if he ever became available. But anyways, looks like Delgaizo, Joshua Waugh, and Montembeault were the extra guys at practice today. So presumably they're all out. Dobish gets another start, and that's no surprise. It will. If I do believe that'll make it 5 apiece for him and Monty after 10 games, split it evenly. You're going to see that tilt towards Dobish right now until Monty can get his house in order. Hopefully he does. But what's got to happen over the next 10 games is that Dobish likely plays 6 or 7 and Monty plays 3 or 4. But we'll see. If Monty's great in his next game and Dobish is horrible tonight, then it'll quickly change back the other way. But right now, Dobish is the de facto starter for the Montreal Canadiens, and hopefully he can continue to roll here. So let's have a look at the lineup. Here's the projected lineup for tonight. Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, first line. Not going to be any changes there. Newhook, Kapanen, and Demidov. Hey, you don't change those guys up. They were awesome last game. 2 goals for Newhook. He's up. He's on a 63-point pace there, which is not bad at all. Anderson, Evans, Gallagher. They've been getting probably second line ice time of late, so I threw them in the third slot there. I mean, you could even put them in the second, but I any line with Demidov on it, as far as I'm concerned, is a second line. So Bolduc, Doc, Veleno, -2 last game. Here's hoping that they bounce back with a better effort tonight. Doc, I don't think was very good, but first game back after being out for a spell. Hopefully he looks a little better. The unfortunate thing with this grouping is that Bolduc is not going to get a ton of ice time probably, unless they're rolling. If they look good, Marty's pretty good that way. He will play a line if it's rolling, and hopefully tonight the Doc line gets in gear and they play a little better than they did the other night. Matheson, Dobson, first pairing. Matheson's back to been playing 25 minutes a night, and that's in part the Goalie injury, right, affects things. Carrier, since Goulie's hurt, he's back. He's been averaging more than 20 minutes a game. So you see Struble, Hudson there, but Carrier will play a lot with Hudson. Carrier will play some shifts with Struble. Jackie's the guy that's it's been under 10 minutes lately, and it'll probably be in and around 8 to 12 minutes for Jackie. And Carrier will get shifts with other players because, with Goalie out especially, there's not really there's not a guaranteed top 4. Like Struble will play some with Hudson. Carrier will play some. Carrier will be on the power, on the penalty kill quite a bit. He'll play 20 plus minutes likely. Again, Struble's been 12 to 15 somewhere in there lately, so that makes sense, right? But Carrier's your the guy that bounces around a bit. Dobish, Jakob will be in nets tonight, and hopefully, hey, 950 save percentage so far. Hopefully he can keep this rolling, right? He's looking really good so far, and last year he had that 5-game stretch or 4 that he was lights out. Then he struggled a bit. Here's hoping that it goes more than that this time around, and that this isn't just a 4 or 5 game stretch. Let's hope he is officially a bona fide starter at the NHL level from here on in, because I think at the end of the day he's bigger than Monty. He's more athletic. I think there's more upside there. As much as I like Monty, I've always considered him not to be an elite starter in the NHL, more of a really good backup, and if you could get an elite starter. And I think Dovish is a better choice as a starter on a contending team. But hey, that can change. Let's get to a couple of comments here. If you have any questions about tonight's game, about the lineup, ask them in the chat here. You'll notice that I'm quite active with people in chat. I will talk. I'll try to answer as many questions and show as many comments as possible. There's the interaction here. We've got a great group that comes on here and participates. There've been very few. There's been no trolls really. It's very encouraging, and if you're watching this on X, jump onto YouTube, our YouTube channel, and you'll get on the live chat and ask us ask a question or leave a comment, and I'll try my best to get to them all. Let's see what Victor Joseph has to say here. During this recovery period, Habs will show what can be done. Doc in a similar situation. Well, it offers up a chance for someone else, right? Doc or Laine being out last game, Kapanen was on the second power play, and he had not been on the second power play. So at this point, I think it opens up an opportunity for Kapanen to play on the power play, which I kind of wanted, anyways. And called for it at the start of the season when he wasn't playing on the power play. So this opens up an opportunity for Kapanen or someone else to get Laine's power play time. Suzuki, I think that's the other thing. Suzuki plays full 2 minutes lots now, so I like that. I like Suzuki, Kapanen, Demidov on the second power play. I like the prospect of that. I think they can start to get rolling. Also, the other thing is that Gallagher. It looks like he drops back with Evans and Anderson, and they play more because they can be trusted more. Laine was really kind of out of place there, being on what you call a defensive line, a checking line. Not with Gallagher. It's a better fit, and then they get increased ice time, and without that reliable Gallagher forecheck and backcheck, and 100% on the Bolduc line, they get a little less ice time, which is not good for Bolduc, but he is on the first power play, so he gets that cookie still, right? Last game, obviously, it hurt his ice time that they only got one power play, but that's not what it'll be most nights. Most nights, Bolduc will get decent power play time, so that will help make up for the fourth line minutes at even strength that it looks like the Doc line is going to be getting until, unless they get rolling here, right? But this is an opportunity for Veleno to, Doc being out gives Veleno a full-blown opportunity to show the Canadiens that he should be a regular in the lineup. This offers him that opportunity. He had a good preseason. He got himself into the best shape of his life in the off season. He certainly looked more than capable. Speed wise, he brings more speed than Laine to the lineup. With Veleno in there, the Canadiens have one of the quickest forward groups, a group of 12, I think, in the NHL. They're fast, and when you even notice it when they're playing a team like Edmonton, it's good. That's one of the, Veleno obviously doesn't bring Laine's goal scoring ability, but Bolduc has been an addition in that regard. Like, I think it's the Bolduc acquisition in the summer was a signal that the Canadiens weren't planning on re-signing Laine anyway. He basically took Laine's spot on the first power play, right? And he, as we saw last game with that snipe from the bumper spot, he can score a lot of goals there, and really, Caulfield's replacing Laine as far as where he's situated on the power play, but Caulfield was on the power play anyway. He wasn't. He's more comfortable over on the left side along the wall. Both him and Laine, unfortunately, that's both their spots, and they both couldn't be there. They couldn't be on top of it. Although, Caulfield on Laine's shoulders, he'd be taller, but no, they couldn't do that, right? So this offers up Caulfield in his comfortable spot on the left wall. Bolduc remaining on the first power play unit for now in the bumper spot, and then Slav all in front of the net over on the left wall. Suzuki all over the place. We'll see. It was encouraging that they were 1-for-1, 100% on the power play a couple of games ago. So they or maybe they weren't. Anyway, yeah, it's good that Bolduc scored a goal. He's looking good, and here's hoping that they can, they can keep this rolling. Let's get to a few more questions here. Robert Legault, feel bad for Laine. Saw clips of him in Winnipeg, and he was amazing. Yeah. I ranked him first overall in the draft year. Took a lot of flack for that. I wasn't completely sold on Matthews. I saw him. It just, for me, Matthews, my feeling was, I just, when you're picking at the top of a draft, I want someone that helps you win when it's important. At playoff time, and Laine was just so lights out at playoff time that year, and at the World Championships, at the under 8 or the World Junior Championships. Like Finland had no business winning a gold medal that year, but Laine and Paul Yaveri carried them on their back. He was the best forward at the World Championships at 17. He carried his Finnish team at 17 to a title in Finnish playoffs. And I really thought that Laine at playoff time would help you win more than Matthews. And I don't know to this point, even though obviously you take Matthews ahead of Laine if you were doing a redraft. I'm not suggesting that you wouldn't, but those first 2 years in the NHL, I would not have traded Laine for Matthews. I thought Laine was fantastic first 2 years and helped Winnipeg actually win. Whenever he's been in the playoffs in the NHL, he's good, and Matthews not so good. My issue with Matthews was that he, he's in the Swiss league, had 40 goals that year, which obviously was fantastic. But in the playoffs, they got swept in 4 games, and he was invisible. And he's kind of followed that pattern at the NHL level to a certain extent. But anyway, yeah, that was one. If I were to do it over again, hey, Matthews has won a friggin' Hart Trophy. You can't deny that he would be the first pick. But Laine had so much potential when he was in Winnipeg, and that it just goes to show. And I had good chats with Timmy Murray, former GM of Buffalo Sabres, who was with Ottawa for a lot of years as assistant to Brian, his uncle. And he said, addiction to video games has also almost become more of an issue. And this was a few years back when it was really rampant. But it's almost more of an issue than players being into drugs and being and being party animals. You're up till 5 a.m. playing video games. You got no strength. You're not training. You're not eating right, and it affects you. It affects you mentally and physically. And it unfortunately, Laine he was never better than he was at 18 to 20 years of age. He never got better. can he still turn that around? After a few years, you start to wonder, right? But I'm hoping for him to, it's so unfortunate that he got his injury, but I hope that he can bounce back from this still and continue his career in the NHL, because my goodness, what a talented shooter. He just one of the best one-timers I've ever seen in the Brett Hull, uh, you know, in that league as far as a one-timer goes. I thought he was going to be a 60-goal scorer in the NHL, but you can never predict the off-ice stuff, right? And I think it really affected his potential, which is really too bad, because when he was 17, he was something else. Is the official lineup out yet? Not that I know of, JP, but I'm pretty sure this is what you're looking at. The extra skaters, right, were Delgaizo, Joshua, and Monty. So you do the math. This should be the official lineup right here. This is what you're looking at, and same as last game, other than Monty not being in nets. Jimmy Reynolds. Doc needs to sort things out. He lacks intensity. He's shown he's capable in the past. It's a mindset. Yeah, I thought honestly, I thought that he was competing pretty well at the start of the year, back checking. I mean, it takes a while when you've been out as much as he had the last 2 or 3 years. Even though you trained hard in the off season and stuff, it still takes a while to get into true game shape, and he was working towards that. He's never going to be the most intense individual in the world, and that was never him. But that you don't have to be. Like, he lacked intensity his first 2 years in the league. Yet, when you look back at players, like, I think goal scoring before the age of 20, he's top 5 all time or something ridiculous like that. So it he didn't have to be intense to be effective. It's hernia surgery. That's right. It's not it is really. It's a bulge in your abdomen usually. But thanks, Ron. That's basically what it is hernia surgery. And Ron, also, it's been a great group. Yes, this group that comes on here, fantastic. Awesome to interact with knowledgeable fans. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks, Ron, for coming out again. As you always, you've been a great supporter. Love all your retweets. Keep it up. And other people, you see something you like that I post on Twitter, it helps. Every bit helps. You see links for these shows and stuff, feel free to retweet or like it. Every bit helps me out. It's free, and I certainly appreciate it. Jamie Reynolds, I'd switch Anderson and Bolduc up. Not a popular opinion, I imagine, but he's way more talented and needs to see more quality ice. Yeah, that's a good point, but I do think Evans, Anderson, and Gallagher are a pretty good line. But I see what you're saying, because obviously the Evans line's getting more time, right? More ice time, and this would give Bolduc more ice time. Yeah, they're somewhat different players, Anderson and Bolduc, but they also have some similarities. You might see that. You might see that if the Evans line's getting a lot more ice time, right? But Josh, hey, popped one the other night. Maybe he's he's going to start one of his little streaks of goal scoring, which would be kind of cool. Let's get to another one here. Ivan Demidov. Oh, hi, Ivan. Thanks for popping in. I guess practice is over. Hello, mate. Would you say it's high time for Dobish to see more action moving forward? Well, he is. This will be what, his third start out of the last 4. So I don't think you'll be seeing more action than that. I think right now is he's already getting more of the last 4, 3 out of the last 4 starts. Hopefully that continues. I think it probably does. Hey, till he cools down and Monty heats up, at least 2 out of every 3. I think you'll see Dobish in net. Brian 77. Hello, Brian. Hi, sir. Okay, well, it's not Brian Wild then. Brian would never call me sir. Can I can I have your thoughts on Oliver Kapanen and why the coach paired him with Demidov? Yeah, well, I've never talked about Oliver Kapanen. That's I'm glad you asked that question. Okay, there was a hint of sarcasm in that. Oliver Kapanen. Well, I like him, believe it or not. He, I love. Actually, I love him. I think he's the most underrated rookie in the NHL this year. He's one of the best. I think he can play a middle line center role all day. His upside being second line center. I mean, I keep bringing it up, but Anthony Cirelli, Chandler Stevenson, Braden Shen, Sam Bennett all played second line center on Cup winners in recent years, and to me, Kapanen is that type of player. That can. I mean, he's not as gritty as Sam Bennett, but or Shen, but just in the aspect that all around smart, competitive, very, very good defensively. Help your line mates. Let them concentrate more on offense than defense at times. Let them do what they can. Points getters, right? So, yeah, I think Kapanen has been fantastic so far. I'm not surprised by it one bit, and I think he keeps it up. He's gaining more and more confidence. I think he's gaining the trust of his coach more and more, and it's nice to see because he, to me, is a middle line center in the NHL, and that is such a valuable piece. Thanks, Brian, for coming on and asking a question. Please feel free to ask me some questions here. Hugo was never going to resign him, Paul Cormier. Maybe not. Certainly when they first got him, they were hoping that, that he might be resigning. I don't know. Like when he first came up last year and he had 10 goals in 10 games, like they were probably thinking about resigning him. The thing too is that he really seems to love Montreal and has embraced it, and he he might have certainly consider re-signing, but it wouldn't be for $8.7 million. But no, I think that ship has probably sailed at this point. That's okay. They picked up Bolduc, and he can replace him on the power play. Mark, it took Markov a full year to recover from double knee injury. If Doc can stay healthy this season, I have hope for next year. Yeah, I have meant that's a good point, Mark, and I've mentioned that before. It's a very good point. Yes, he definitely needs to recover from the knee injury, and he does that. I think it, like you say, it typically takes 2 years, right? And it's been, well, I mean, it's 2 years since the first injury, but it's been Markov. I've said it more than once, and you're bang on with that, and I agree 100% that it typically takes 2 years. Now, do the Canadiens have the, I mean, do they have the time to wait for that? I don't know. Like, I don't know that he sticks around, to be honest with you. I think he might be part of you might see him being part of package to upgrade, uh, but other teams would have to also want him, right? So it's all it's a very good question with Doc, but I agree. It typically takes 2 years at least to fully recover from a knee injury. So that they have to remain patient, and I hope. I mean, hey, they traded. Romanov was a pretty valuable piece to be trading at that point, and you know they ended up getting a top 13 pick for him. Nazar's looked so good, right? They just kept the pick and taken him. They, so they certainly want this to work out for them, and I really hope it does. I hope he can recover and still start to reach that potential that he has. Uh, Thank you for that question. Jimmy Reynolds, completely unrelated to the game tonight, but Heineman is having a great start. Oh, he's not kind of a forgotten piece in the Dobson trade. Oh, if you read any commercial or sorry any tweets from Islanders fans, they're not forgetting him. They troll and has fans quite a bit about that, but yeah, he's the guy that um, well, for a lot of people, they think, oh, the two draft picks, the two mid first round picks were the main piece, but you never know what's mid first rounders. Some of them bust, some of them never play. Heineman could be better than both of them. You don't know. You certainly don't know at the time of the deal. I think, yeah, I like Heineman a lot. Before he had his injury last year, I, I was really bullish on him. I didn't think he should have been playing on the fourth line. He was top nine as far as I'm concerned. Never quite the same after the injury, but it looks like he had a good off season, and good for him. I like the kid. I think he's a solid player, and you got to give to receive. I think third or fourth time he's been traded already, which doesn't mean the teams that had him didn't want him. Meant the teams that a lot of teams felt the same way as I did. Like, hey, this is a good player. He can help us. He drafted by Florida, traded to in the Sam Bennett deal, I believe it was, to Calgary. Dealt again. So Montreal is part of the deal for Toffoli, I think it was, and now part of the Dobson deal. So he's been involved in the acquisition of three important players, which tells me that the rest of the league it likes him a lot and thinks that he's a solid player. But Montreal got a first pairing 6'4" right defenseman, so certainly they're not going to regret it, and I don't think the Islanders will either, because they drafted Schaefer. It worked out well for them too. And again, if we're up over 500 people watching, if you are checking this out on X, and go over to HabsCast YouTube channel, get on the live chat, and ask some questions. I noticed that we've got some new people in here today, so that's good. I appreciate it. Darren Pinar, what do you think about Philip Eriksson? Don't hear much about him, but he looks like he's outpacing Kapanen's year in the SHL. Well, it's early there. As far as Eriksson outpacing Kapanen, but yeah, one of the better point producers at his, under the age of 22 in the SHL in recent times, just as Kapanen was. I like him a lot. Actually, Kapanen was under 21 when he, and has one of the better paces in the SHL in the last 15 years, which is one of the reasons why I liked him so much and thought that his offensive potential was underrated. But Darren, if you go back and look at some of my first podcasts that I did, HabsCast at the start of the year here, September, I featured Eriksson every week. He was the Habs prospect of the week there, two weeks in a row, and it could have been three. So go back and look at the first HabsCast, I think in the first 10 and maybe even the first 5. And Rick and I talked quite a bit about Eriksson, and there's some good highlights up there. Yeah, I like him a lot. He, to me, replaces Kapanen as the most underrated prospect in the system. So, and I talk quite a bit about him in those podcasts. Good eye for you to catch that. And if you want, I don't have time to nearly as much time to spend talking about him as I did in those podcasts. So go back and have a look, and you'll see that I am really high on him. Here's another Andre Gagliano. Thank you, Andrea. Sorry, I said Andrea. Hendrix Lapierre seems to be slumping with Washington. Would the Habs ever be interested in him, considering there are a lot of eyes on him at the draft? They might be. Certainly, hometown talent. Yeah, I don't know. Certainly, I don't think that they'd be interested in grabbing him to replace Kapanen, if that's the line of thinking you're thinking. But maybe, it could be somebody that they explore getting in the future if things don't work out in Washington. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. A lot of things to like about Hendricks. I think the issue with him, and as far as trading for him goes, is he's like probably one bad concussion away from never playing again. And that was what hurt him in his draft year, was the fact that he'd suffered some bad concussions already at the junior level. So for those reasons, I think perhaps the Canadiens wouldn't want to take the risk of trading for him. Thank you for your question, Andrea. Robert, another one. I've liked to try Heineman on the first or second lines last year. Yeah, I agree. Marty doesn't try out enough combos as far as I'm concerned. I feel it. I think you'd be surprised how many combos Marty does. He tries a lot more combos than Claude Julien ever did. That's for sure. But yeah, I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that. I thought that Heineman, at one point, his goals per 60 were like top 20 in the league. He was scoring goals despite the lack of ice time, and playing with non-offensive players, most of it, like checkers. So yeah. Mark, how long do you think it will take for Jacob Fowler playing with the big club? Do you think Dovas can steal his job? Do I think that Dovas can steal a job that Jacob Fowler doesn't already have? It would have to be, if you said, do I think Fowler can steal Dovas's job, it would be more accurate. But I think I know what you're saying. Do I think that Dovas, Fowler is looked at as the future, right? But Dovas is putting a kink in that, right? Yeah. it's hard to say. I don't like to predict goalies. You know, I think Dovish can be a starting goalie in the NHL. I think Fowler can be a starting goalie in the NHL. They could make a really good future tandem for the Habs. I appreciate the question. We'll do a couple more, and I'm going to wrap things up here pretty soon. I once again doing a podcast here when I haven't eaten, and it's like 3 in the afternoon. Sheldon Hughes, I've had an Sheldon, my benefactor. Thanks for popping by. I've had enough with Doc at center. He should be on the wing. Yeah, well, and Valeno at center, I guess. Yeah, I don't know that he is a best suited at center. Certainly not a great face-off guy, but Valeno, I guess, would be his replacement, right? For now, maybe they look at getting another center and moving Doc over to the wing. Doc, another center between Doc and Bolduc might be good. Some guys are just showing up here, eh? Yeah, I didn't give much notice. Some of the regulars are just getting here. Sheldon and Drum Dude. Hey, Grant, folks. Hey, Drum Dude. Tell you what, since you guys just arrived, I'll go on for a few more minutes, but you're going to have to ask some questions here because I'm done talking. I still think Doc can be a solid winger. Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think that, hey, we saw it 2 years ago before his injury, or 3 now, or 2.5. The guy could potentially be a decent center too. He was playing well defensively as a center. So if he ever got better at faceoffs, I'm not dismissing the fact that he could be a center, but right now, I don't know. Yes, Sheldon, I know you just got here. We just seen some posts from you before now. Yeah, no problem. Great show, Grant. Thanks, buddy. Hey, Robert, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Yeah, middle of the afternoon on a Saturday, short notice, more than 500 tuning in. Love it. Great Montreal sports day today. You got it, Ron. Als, Habs, Jays tonight. Maybe that's not Montreal, but I don't know. I'll be tuning in. Kind of cool if a Canadian team win the World Series again. I remember '93, Joe Carter. Touch them all, Joe. I was pretty happy. I do make exceptions for the Raptors and the Blue Jays when it comes to Toronto sports teams. Michael Wellen keeps asking me how I'm watching KHL games. Yes, Michael, I saw your first one. The way anybody else does on hockey. Make sure you got a good firewall on hockey. That's unless you got a Android box and Cody and you get some of their, that's the other way that you can do it. Don't tell Bell that I told you that. But yeah, those are the two options that work best as far as getting KHL games. What else we got here? Jimmy Reynolds, Zharovsky is going to be special. Could be. Any chance he plays in the CHL? No chance, because he's got another year left in his contract. So he will be in the KHL next year, which is fine by me. He played 17 minutes today, by the way. So let's just have a look at his goal that he scored today. Here it is on the power play. 17 minutes. Look at that snipe, eh? He's third on his KHL team in scoring, despite only having played 11 games. He's first in points per game. Nice wrister. He played like 7 minutes on the power play today. So, but see that shot? Kid's got a good shot. Really good playmaker. Yeah, but he has to play one more year in the KHL, and then he won't. He'll come over and he'll play. I think he'll probably need a year in the CHL, or sorry, in the AHL. Maybe not, but we'll see. Probably 2 off seasons of gaining strength before he's ready for an NHL spot would be my guess. Devin has become a new member. Wow. Thank you, Devin. I really appreciate it. Hey, you become a member. It's basically supporting me for this, all of these podcasts that I'm doing here. This is on YouTube, obviously. You can become a member. It helps me out. I'm trying to make a living off of this, doing it full time. So every bit of financial assistance is just so much appreciated. Devin, you've been great, and I'm I appreciate it so much that you did that. Join Sheldon and the other the skeleton crew that we have so far, but it's building. It'll take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I think I'll probably come on tonight after the game too. I might wait till after the Blue Jays game because I don't know that I'll get much of an audience until then. So, sometime between 10:30 and 11, I presume, unless the Jays are getting blown out, then I might come right after the Habs game. But I do hope and plan to come on again tonight after the Habs game. I was only going to do 30 minutes here too, but hey, since I decided to stay on a little longer, I got a new member, right? So it was worthwhile. I will keep this. I'll go another 8 minutes, guys. But I do have to go eat and walk the dog. Chester needs a walk. Okay. Thanks to you, Grant. Hey, no, no problem. I appreciate all of the support. Drum Dude, I'm just coming online, so I don't have any info on his surgery. 3 to 4 months, hernia surgery. Went for a second opinion and probably got the exact same opinion. You've got a hernia and you need surgery. So yeah, I don't know. I presume he didn't get the injury from lifting boxes because he was moving. Somebody asked about Deneau. Yeah, well, pizza joints would be happy if it got back to no way. I don't know. It was LA. If LA tanks and they're looking to rebuild, maybe, but I think they're probably pretty happy with him in LA at this point. But yeah, hey, if the price wasn't exorbitant, I'd do that all day. Bring back Deneau. He'd be perfect for Bolduc and Doc, I think. Not a bad suggestion. I just takes 2 to tango, right? No problems, Grant. I'm not too rich myself, but I'm always on here, so it's just natural that I give back. Hey, no, thank you very much. Well, I don't think it's they don't ask for too much there. Just not the laughs. Yeah. Please have dinner first. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's going to be a quick sandwich, and we'll go see we'll go get Chester out for a walk in the bush. I'm very fortunate that I've got a nice bush in the back here that I can take Chester out for a tour. Scotty Bowman, Hey, Grant. Hey, Scotty. Glad to see you on board, my friend. I guess you're new to this Habs community. Welcome again. If you people are just getting in, Laine sports uh, hernia injury, gone 3 to 4 months, could be even longer. Yes, yeah. What do members get? Yeah. Well, you get special. I don't know. You'd have to. I think it explains it, but what you get more than anything is thanks and gratitude from me. I don't know if that makes it worth it or not, but uh, I don't think there's a lot of bells and whistles with that. More than anything, I think it's more just a sign of support, right? But I think it's $5 or something along those lines. You get if and when, like as this builds, there will be opportunities for members will get special. I think your messages get read more often or seen more often. I haven't really read the whole thing because I'm not looking to become a member. I so, but there is explanations if you look it up, and it will. Um, there are explanations of what all a new member gets, and certainly as uh, as this community grows, there'll be more. Um, it will be more fruitful for you than it is at present. Uh, Grant making HabsCast almost every day before a game, after sometimes. Great scouting videos. Thanks, Devin. Well, like I say, everything. Ronnie thinks that Kadri is the perfect option. Yeah, you may have missed the last one when there was lots of chat about Kadri. I'm not. Uh, yeah, I don't think that's the answer. Okay, Sheldon, take care of my friend. Go take your grandson to his hockey game. We all have priorities. Okay, it is 57:31 into this. Not seeing uh, not seeing any more questions. And I have to go. So thanks again, Devin, for this. We'll hopefully see you all after the game tonight, and we will. I'll quickly answer this. Drum dude, think the boys will come out with fire tonight? Oh, I hope so. I think it's important for them to get a lead, and if they do, look out. Thanks, Scotty. Bye, everybody. Take care. Hope to see you tonight. Okay, and we'll be talking soon.